First of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Muhammad Abi Abdillah, and I'm gonna explain to you about case study number one. The case study is expansion of Nova Animation Studios. So, since the Nova Animation Studios is well-established animation company operating in Canada, in some recent years, the animation industry has experienced rapid growth with increasing demand for high-quality animated content. Recognizing this opportunity, the company management is considering an expansion plan to increase production capacity and enhance its competitiveness in global market. One of the projects currently being evaluated by the financial team is the expansion of Nova Animation Studios production facilities. This expansion includes building a new studio, upgrading production equipment, and hiring additional talent. However, the project require a significant initial investment of $4 million. As part of financial analysis, the team has projected the expected cash inflows from the expansion. According to estimates, the project is expected to generate annual cash flows of $675,000 for 16 years. To assess the feasibility of this investment, the company applies a discount rate of 11%, which reflect the cost of capital and project risk. And the management now face a critical question: is the expansion financially feasible? So, as a financial analyst, I will provide the net present value, the profitability index, and the internal rate of return. So the first one is the NPV. I will calculate the net present value of this project. Based on the case study, the Nova Animation Studios is considering an expansion plan to increase production capacity and enhance its global competitiveness. So the proposed expansion project requires an initial investment. So the cash flow for the first one is $4 million, and it's expect to generate annual cash inflows of $675,000 for 16 years. The company applies a discount rate of 11% to evaluate the project. So, as we know, the CFO is $4 million, and CF1 until CF16 is $675,000. So, as we can see, the discount rate is 11%, which means is 0.11, and for the N is 16 years. This is how I get the answer. I use the NPV ways. So the CFO plus CF1 divide by 1 plus R per CF1, and so this is the conclusion. So for the NPV, since the NPV is positive, about 980.934.2, the project is financially feasible and should be considered for implementation. And the profitability index is, as we can see, like this. So the profitability index is calculated using this following formula, and since the PI is greater than 1, especially 1.245, the project is financially feasible. And it means for every $1 invest, the project generates a present value of 1.245. Therefore, the expansion project is offer a relatively high return in relation to the capital invest. And this is for the internal rate of return. So before that, the result of NPV for each discount rate is, between 11 until 16% is already being calculated by me. And this is the answer for each NPV. So since the 16% NPV result are negative, I use 11% as a K1 in the formula, and 16% as K2. So the IRR will show after determination between two discount rate, which is 11% and 16%. This is the formula and how I do it. Since the IRR, and I get this answer 15.24%, and since the IRR of 15.24% is higher than the company discount rate of 11%, the project is financially viable. This indicates that the project is expected to yield a return above the cost of capital, which adds value to the company. And if the discount rate is above that 15.24%, the IRR thinks, even though the CFO and the CF16 remains same still, so the project is not recommended because the NPV is not imaging any plus condition if the discount rate is above 15.24%. So that's it for my case study. I'm sorry if there still anything wrong or still less than expected. Thank you.
2, 3. Hello everyone, my name is Noval Maulana Ramdhani. Today I will explain about case study number 2, expansion of Velocity X Matters. In this video, I will evaluate the financial feasibility of expanding a new production line by examining the initial investment requirement, operating cash flow, free cash flow, and the last one is net present value or NPV. The first one is initial investment requirement. Scroll down. Ya. Atas lagi di. Yap. The initial investment requirement in year 0, Velocity X Motors need to make an initial investment to start the project. This is include a capital expenditure or the capex of 450,000 for new production. In additional, they must allocate 50,000 for net operating working capital or NOWC. Combining total initial cash outlay requirement at year 0 is amount 500,000. Number 2 is operating cash flow. In operating cash flow, you can see in this image, from revenue to operating cash flow, the revenue is estimated like 400,000, derived from selling 2,000 units at 200 each. So let's get down to operating cash flow. The total is like 1,000, 2,000, and 900. In number three is terminal cash flow. In this number, the free cash flow over the project's life in year 0, the company invests 450,000 in capex and 50,000 in NOWC, resulting in an additional free cash flow outflow negative 500,000. From year 1 to year 10, the operating cash flow remained constant at 1,219. In year 0, the company not only earns but also recover. The last one is NPV. Scroll down. Finally, let's evaluate the project using the NPV. The formula for NPV takes into account the initial investment and the present value of the future cash flow over 10 years. Using a discount rate of 11%, we calculate the present value of each year cash flow. After discount all cash flow and subtracting the initial investment of $500,000, the total NPV is 2,6,200 and 153. The last one is recommendation. This is the recommendation from why I think Velocity X Motor is advised to move forward with the proposed expansion into expand into gas power skateboard from following research. The first recommendation, positive NPV. The project shows significant positive NPV, suggesting it will add considerable value to the company. The second one is consistent annual cash flow. The project is expected to yield strong annual cash inflow. The third one is recovery of working capital. The full reimburse of initial working capital outlay $50,000 boost the project overall terminal value. The last recommendation is favorable market condition. This is the expansion match the increasing demand for alternative transportation method, making it a timely move before the market shift entirely towards solar power solution. That's all from case study number 2. Thank you.
Hello everyone, let me introduce myself. My name is Rahman Fadayat, and now I will introduce the case study number 3, expansion decision at Quantum Tech Solution. Quantum Tech Solution, a leading technology firm based in Japan, in considering the construction of a new product facility to manufacture its latest line of high-performance memory card with increased global demand for data storage solution. The management believe that expanding product capacity could be a strategic move to capture a large market share. The proposed product facility will require initial investment of 800 million yen and is expected to operate for 5 years. The financial team has decided to use the straight line depreciation method, meaning the facility value will be fully depreciated over its useful life. The company actively selling the new memory card at 15,000 yen per unit. However, the product process involves certain costs. Variable product cost per unit is 10,000 yen. Fixed salary expenses per year 180 million yen. Before proceeding with the investment, the company executive want to analyze the financial feasibility of project. They have required break-even analysis to determine the minimum number of memory cards that must be sold annually to cover production costs. Okay. Before itu break even analysis hand right calculation ke case tadi din. Nah, intended investment is 100 million yen. Price per unit is 15,000 yen. Variable cost per unit 10,000 yen. Fixed salary expenses per year 118 million yen. Depreciation 800 million yen divided by 5 years 160 million yen per year. Total fixed cost per year is 180 million yen plus 160 million yen equal 340 million yen. Break even quantity QBP. Nah, 340 million yen per 15,000 yen. 15,000 yen minus 10,000 yen equal 304 million yen per 5,000 yen equal 68,000 per unit. The company must sell 68,000 unit per year to reach its accounting break-even point. Nah, revenue revenue and cost at break-even point. Total revenue 68,000 unit multiple by 15,000 yen, 1,020 million yen. Total variable cost is 68,000 unit multiple by 10,000 yen equal 680 million yen. Total cost fixed plus variable 340 million yen plus 680 million yen equal 1,020 million yen. Company decision. The break-even point of 68,000 unit with total sales revenue of 1,020 million yen must be compared to expand market demand. Nah, the global SD memory card market was valued at approximately 7.1 billion United States dollar. If quantum test solution can capture even a small portion of this market, reaching the break-even point is a realistic goal. However, the company should ensure the tree is sufficient demand through proper market reach before moving forward with the expansion. Maybe that's all for me. Thank you for the attention. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Hello everyone, my name is Imari Dinda Pramanta Putri. I would like to present the financial analysis related to our case study, especially number 4. This presentation includes the calculation of after-tax cost of debt, the present value of cash outflow, and the interpretation of the result, and etc. Okay, maybe let's go straight into the case study. This is the question, and based on the information provided, good general information. First, financing period 6 years, corporate tax rate 35%, loan amount 250 million won, loan term 6 years, annual interest rate 9%, equipment acquisition cost 250 million won, residual value 30 million, and annual lease payment 52 million won for 6 years. Lease payment are tax deductible. And the problem requires us to find loan analysis. First, calculate the after-tax cost of debt for the loan option. Second, compute the cash outflow for purchasing the equipment, including loan payments and tax effects. And last, evaluate the depreciation benefit if the company owns the equipment. Lease analysis. Determine the after-tax cost of leasing, considering that lease payments are tax deductible, and compare the cash outflow for leasing a 6-year period. And last, final recommendation. First, which financing option, loan or lease, results in the lowest cost and highest financial benefit for Nexatech solution, and what additional financial risk should the company consider before making a final decision? And the answer is assumption. There are two assumptions. First, assumption A, this loan payment and lease payment are made at the beginning of the year, and assumption B, loan payment and lease payment are made at the end of the year, beginning and end. Alternative 1, term loan, calculate loan payment. Based on assumption A, the annual loan installment must be for 5 years with interest rate of 9% is 51,124,749. Schedule of the payment. The outstanding loan balance gradually decrease until it reaches 0.1 at the end of the 5 years. And annual depreciation expense. Annual depreciation expense is 36,666,600 and serves as a tax deduction for calculating the after-tax cost of debt. After-tax cost of debt is 5.85%, reflecting the cost of borrowing after tax saving. This value is crucial for financing feasibility analysis, as it shows that company true interest burden. 5, determining the schedule of cash outflow debt alternative, and the total after-tax cash outflow is 172,710,270, reflect the actual cost borne by the company over the loan period after considering tax benefit from interest and depreciation. This calculate is essential for evaluating the effective of debt financing compared to other alternative, which is lease payment. Alternative to lease. First, calculate lease payment assumption. The annual lease payment of 47,466 indicates the fixed amount the company needs to pay each year over the lease term. Second, determining schedule of cash outflow leasing payment. Over the lease term, years 1 to 6, the total present value of the cost leasing amounts to 184,756,260. This helps evaluating the cost effective of leasing compared to other financing alternative, which is loan payment. Calculate after-tax cost of leasing. Using a 35% tax rate and 9% discount rate over 6 years with a PIVA of 4.48x, the final after-tax cost is around 151.6 million won, reflecting the least true cost after tax saving. And then assumption B, loan payment and lease payment are made at the end of the year. Alternative 1 is term loan. Calculate loan payment. the result is at around 55,700,000. Schedule of debt payment. Each year, a fixed payment 55,728,934 is made, gradually reducing the interest and increasing the principal portion. By the year 6, the loan is full repaid with the remaining balance reaching zero. This is zero. Calculate annual depreciation expense. And the result about depreciation is 36,666,600 and serve as a tax deduction, this is same as before. Calculating the after-tax cost of debt. After-tax cost of debt is used to evaluate financing decision and is essential in calculate the weighted average cost of capital or WACC. And then schedule of cash outflow debt alternative. HKOF is discount using a 5.85% rate PVEF, resulting in a total present value of around 172,726,000. This helps compare the financing cost with leasing or loan option. Alternative to leasing. First, calculating lease payment assumption B. The result in annual lease payment is around 51.7 million won. This lease payment helps assess leasing as an alternative to debt financing. And then schedule of cash outflow leasing alternative. Using a 5% discount rate for 6 years, the total present value of leasing cost is 171,568,800. Useful for comparing with the debt financing option. Calculate the after-tax cost of leasing. This show how much leasing really costs after tax savings are considered. The total cost around 151.6 million won. It helps comparing leasing with borrowing to decide which one is cheaper. And last is final recommendation. Which financing option provides the lowest cost and highest financial benefit for Nesatex solution? The list option under assumption B, where payments are made at the end of the year, provides the lowest cost after tax cost of 171,568,800. This is the cheaper. This makes it the most financially beneficial option for Nesatex solution. What additional financial risks should be company consider before making a final decision? First, no ownership of equipment. At the end of the lease period, Nesatex will not own the equipment. This eliminates the potential to recover residual value or extend the equipment usage life without further payments. Second, contractual inflexibility. Leasing contract may be rigid if the company production needs change. Early termination or restructuring of the lease could result in penalties or operational constraints. And the last, opportunity cost. While leasing preserves upfront cash, it may lead to higher long-term payments. In some cases, Nesatex may miss out on benefit tied to ownership, such as full depreciation or asset leverage. Now I will explain question number 3, detailed report, calculation, financial insight, and strategic recommendation. Calculation, all of this is the result of the loan and lease analysis that I have calculated. Financial insight. Under both assumption, loan and lease have their own advantage. First, in assumption A, the loan is more cost-effective than leasing. In assumption B, the lease is the cheapest overall, slightly more affordable than the loan. Leasing also provides the benefits, fixed payment, and no upfront capital, making it ideal for company aiming to preserve cash and maintain liquidity. And the last one is strategic recommendation. Based on the analysis, Nesatex solutions should choose lease under assumption B. End of year payments, as it offers the lowest after-tax cost and the highest financial benefit, while helping maintain cash flow. However, Nesatex should also consider non-financial and long-term risks, especially if asset ownership or long-term flexibility is a priority. That's all from me. Thank you.